today, as part of the Austin studio tour, which is all virtual in 2020 because of the pandemic, I am going to show you how to make Migajón, which is a craft dough that you can make at home with stuff that you probably already have. Esta actividad es para adultos o niños, cualquier, y puedes usar materiales que ya probablemente tienes en casa. I used this material in some of my artwork. For example, in my work, Assemble to Disassemble, which was an installation at the Texas Capitol, I made these flowers with the help of friends. I used this material to make this piece, which I call ammunition. It's a set of bullets made out of migajón. Mothers and grandmothers and family members make each other heirlooms and mementos out of this material that's so ordinary just in your household. But they represent a lot of love and they last a really long time, sometimes for generations. And so I wanted to put this contrast together. Usually they're used for things like flowers or beads or even like holiday ornaments and things like that, sentimental things. And I like the idea of rather than actual guns or bullets, a sort of love being a protective armor or defense for our kids. This is my friend Luz Marie Iturbe. She's a wonderful artist as well. Thank you again. So what we need to make this craft dough is bread, white bread.
I have this brand, so any brand works. It's like just white bread.
Y lotion.
The crema, we call it crema.
Crema.
But yeah, it's lotion, any kind works.
So we're gonna get how many slices?
4 or 5, depends on the size of the slices.
What you do first is you take the crusts off.
It's here.
Primero quitamos el, ¿cómo se dice?
La orilla.
La orilla.
Crust, yes. So I'm gonna do like we do sandwiches.
Adentro de la rebanada, slice, right? De pan se llama la miga.
Ajá, miga.
Yeah.
Yeah, or migajón as well.
Migajón. And we have a dish in Austin, a breakfast dish called migas
Oh yeah.
that I think was from Austin originally, maybe?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Because
In Spain, there's a dish also called migas. I think it's different than here because I think it's made out of crumb bread. And here it's with tortilla, right?
strips of tortillas. Tortillas.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know in what part of the...
Luego hacemos miguitas. I first discovered this material when I was standing in line for my daughter's first communion, and the girl behind us was wearing a wreath on her head made with flowers that I thought were porcelain. And I told her that it was so beautiful, and she said her grandmother made it out of bread and glue and lotion. And I think she was speaking Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe I misunderstood her. En la fila de la comunión para mi niña, era una niña detrás de nosotras llevando una como corona de flores de este material. Fue hermosa. Ahora, ¿estamos listas para poner el pegamento? Pienso que fue 1 y 1/2, pero
Yeah, 1.5.
5 rebanadas. Entonces,
Really? Okay. My tablespoon is not very big, so
okay.
I mean, you don't have to be, like, it's not a cake, so
No hay que ser exacto.
no. Tiene que ser super exacto. And then a half of teaspoon of lotion.
Bueno.
This lotion smells very fresh.
What's the fragrance?
It's sweet almond,
Nice.
water lily, evening primrose. Primrose.
All of those things?
Yes.
Mine is coconut and lemon. We need a sponsorship deal with these companies.
Yes. The vinegar, what it does, and you can use lemon as well. What it does is like it preserves the dough.
To prevent mold?
Yeah. So it's 1.5.
Will you please go get me the jug of white vinegar?
So what it does is prevent mold. The glue is for like to get everything together, and when it dries, it's gonna be hard. And the cream or lotion is to make it elastic, and the bread is the main component. So, okay, I can't wait to get my hands into it.
I'm ready. Woo! The fun part.
Yeah. So what you need to do now is just work the dough until you get the consistent, the elasticity, and until it stops sticking in your hands.
Lo mismo como cuando haces pan y los glutinas,
El gluten, ¿no?
el gluten, se pegan a cada otra para hacerlo elástico. Seems like the same thing that happens when you knead dough, because the glutens bind together and form chains and make it nice and stretchy.
When you get this consistency, you can do almost whatever you want. You can divide, for example, the dough and then add different colors, and you can like do different things. Or you can do whatever you want and then let it dry and then paint it.
I'm going to experiment with using food coloring. Like,
that's a good idea.
I'm gonna go
How long it takes to dry?
definitely at least a day, probably more, depending on how thick. Food coloring seems to work okay. You can even keep this marbled look if you want, I guess.
You can make ornaments for the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah. Maybe that's what I'll do, a candy cane.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you can also make a dreidel. Dreidels are supposed to be made out of clay, right? But if it's it should be small, and maybe even put something in the middle to make it sort of hollow, like maybe balled up paper or something like that, because it might crack while it dries if it's too thick.
Like a cactus, succulent plant.
Nice.
But I'm not adding any color. So.
Oh, the Austin studio tour? It's going to be virtual. So all online.
So how can we attend? to that? Like, to just sign up or?
No, I think it's just open through the Big Medium website. Big Medium is a nonprofit arts organization and gallery. It's a wonderful organization that has outstanding shows and provides a lot of opportunities for artists and assistance and advice for artists in Austin.
Needs a lot of work, but
That's very cute. It's one of those ghost cactus.
yes.
Can you quickly tell me anything that you're working on or anything about your website or?
Well, I'm working on waves, as you can see in the back of my studio.
What are they?
Waves.
Waves. They're beautiful.
I have that. Oh, I'm working on this too.
Gorgeous.
I just did a very fun logo with a like kind of children's books style. A lot of work.
The paintings in the background are watercolor?
They're watercolor with charcoal.
Mm-hmm. The colors are outstanding.
We can do another session with watercolor.
Okay.
I love your flowers, your blue flowers.
Oh, thank you.
Y ahora voy a hacer, pienso que se llama caña de dulce, candy cane. You can make a candy cane for your Christmas tree. Any number of things. You could probably make a moon out of the rest of this blue. I might do. Shouldn't make it too thick though, because it can crack when it dries. This is really fun to do with kids, especially now that everyone's stuck at home. This homemade craft dough is very commonly used in Latin America. I lived in Mexico for a year, and that's where I learned to speak Spanish. I'm a little rusty. Viví en Monterrey por un año. Hace muchos años. Ya, candy cane. Lo pongo aquí para que puedo pintar un poquito. Puedes utilizar pintura acrílica. You can use acrylic paint. Once you finish your sculpture or figure or ornament, you need to let it dry for maybe a day, maybe a couple days. Depends on how thick it is. Again, don't make it too thick or else it'll crack. I had that problem at the bottom of some of these flowers. See, they cracked a little bit. This is my first time trying to paint them. It takes paint really well. I think most of the time people paint them. And these can even be holiday gifts for people. All right. So we have our flower painted blue and our flower with blue food coloring in the clay. You can see how they turn out different. Don't forget to wash your brushes. Thank you for stopping by today. I also have a virtual studio visit from my Lalena lab, I call it. You can check out the band that I have with my daughter, who's 12. She's a drummer. We're called The Mother Mold, themothermold.com. And have a great holiday season.